In the upcoming chapter, the heart of a dense forest in rural Pennsylvania, something unnatural was stirring. It wasn't just the wind rustling through the trees or the occasional hoot of an owlet was something far more sinister. Locals whispered about strange lights glowing deep within the woods at night, accompanied by eerie howls that no one could explain. Some claimed they saw shadowy figures moving silently between the trees, while others swore they heard whispers carried on the breeze, voices speaking in tongues unknown to man. Pause. What lurked in those shadows? Was it a creature, a spirit, or perhaps something even more terrifying? Before we dive in, tell me, where are you watching from? And what time is it there for you? We love knowing who's out there with us and where in the world you're tuning in from. Whether you're starting your day, winding down at night, or somewhere in between, we want to know what your moment looks like. It's also a great way for us to get to know our audience better and maybe even shape future content around your schedules. So go ahead, drop a comment below, and let us know where you are today. We're all ears. The small town of Eldridge Hollow had always been known for its picturesque landscapes and tight-knit community. Nestled in the Appalachian Mountains, it was the kind of place where everyone knew each other's names and children played safely in the streets after sunset. But over the past few years, something had changed. Families began disappearing without a trace, leaving behind only unanswered questions and haunted memories. At first, people thought it was just bad luck, a series of unfortunate accidents, but as the disappearances continued, fear spread like wildfire through the town. It started subtly. A farmer would find his livestock torn apart, their bodies left drained of blood. Then came the stories of hunters venturing too far into the woods, never returning. The townsfolk tried to rationalize these events, attributing them to bears or cougars roaming the area. Yet, no predator in nature could explain the chilling details: claw marks larger than any animal's, footprints that defied logic, and an unsettling silence that followed every incident. One evening, under the pale light of a full moon, a group of brave souls decided to confront the darkness head-on. Armed with flashlights and makeshift weapons, they ventured into the forest, determined to uncover the truth. They moved cautiously, their footsteps muffled by the thick carpet of leaves beneath them. As they delved deeper, the air grew colder, and an oppressive weight settled upon their chests. The once familiar woods now felt alien, as if the very trees were watching them. Hours passed, and nothing seemed amiss. Just when hope began to flicker, the group stumbled upon an abandoned cabin hidden among the pines. Its windows were shattered, and vines snaked through the cracks in its walls. Inside, they discovered remnants of a lifelong forgotten rusty tools, tattered clothing, and photographs scattered across the floor. But one item stood out above the rest: a journal, its pages yellowed with age. Flipping through its entries, they read accounts of sightings, descriptions of monstrous beings lurking in the shadows, and warnings scrawled in frantic handwriting. Whoever lived here had met a gruesome end, but not before documenting the horror that consumed them. As dawn approached, the group returned to the village, shaken but resolved. They shared the contents of the journal with anyone willing to listen, hoping to rally support for another expedition. This time, they prepared traps, baiting them with raw meat laced with sedatives. If whatever roamed the woods was indeed responsible for the disappearances, they planned to capture either, at least understand it. Weeks turned into months, and still, nothing happened. The forest remained eerily quiet, save for the occasional rustle of leaves. Just when doubt began to creep in, the unthinkable occurred. One morning, the group found one of their traps triggered, the bait gone, and a trail of massive paw prints leading away from the site. Following the tracks, they eventually reached a clearing bathed in an unnatural glow. There, illuminated by an ethereal light, stood a creature unlike anything they had ever seen. Towering at least 10 feet tall, it resembled a wolf, yet bore features distinctly human-like. Its eyes burned with an intelligence both calculating and merciless. Paralyzed with fear, the group watched as the beast stared back at them, unblinking. For what felt like an eternity, neither side moved. Finally, the creature let out a guttural roar that shook the ground beneath their feet, then disappeared into the underbrush as quickly as it had appeared. The group retreated, hearts pounding and minds racing. They had seen the source of the terror plaguing Eldridge Hollow, but understanding it was another matter entirely. Word of the encounter spread rapidly, drawing attention from researchers, paranormal investigators, and thrill-seekers alike. Among them was Dr. Eleanor Carter, a renowned anthropologist specializing in cryptozoology. She arrived in Eldridge Hollow armed with cutting-edge technology and a determination to unravel the mystery. Her findings revealed startling connections between the creature and ancient Native American folklore, specifically tales of the Wendigo, a malevolent spirit said to embody insatiable hunger and greed. Dr. Carter hypothesized that the creature might not be entirely natural, but rather a manifestation of human fears and desires given form by some unknown force. This theory gained traction when locals recounted seeing the creature moments before losing loved ones to tragic accidents or acts of violence. Could the Wendigo feed not just on flesh, but on emotions? The idea sent shivers down everyone's spines. Despite her efforts, Dr. Carter couldn't fully explain the phenomenon. What she did manage to achieve, however, was raising awareness about the importance of respecting nature and acknowledging the mysteries that lie beyond human comprehension. While the creature hasn't been spotted since, the people of Eldridge Hollow remain vigilant, knowing that somewhere in the depths of the forest, the Wendigo waits, watching. And so, the question remains, is the Wendigo a relic of the past, a figment of imagination brought to life, or a warning of humanity's darker impulses? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Did the creature truly exist, or was it merely a product of collective paranoia? Whatever the case may be, one thing is certain: Eldridge Hollow will never be the same again. If you enjoyed this story, consider sharing it with a friend who loves mysteries as much as you do. And don't forget to subscribe for more spine-tingling tales delivered straight to your feed. Until next time, stay curious, and remember the world is full of wonders, some brighter than others. In the upcoming chapter, after uncovering the horrifying truth behind the Ugandan village plagued by the monstrous crocodile, and delving into the chilling mystery of the cannibalistic fate of the stranded Arctic explorers, you might think humanity has seen its fair share of terrors. But as history shows, there are always darker corners, left unexplored places where nature itself seems to conspire against us. Speaking of which, let me tell you about another eerie phenomenon that baffled scientists and terrified locals alike: the vanishing lights of Skinwalker Ranch. You may have heard whispers of strange happenings in remote areas across the United States: UFO sightings, cattle mutilations, and mysterious glowing orbs darting through the night sky. One such place became infamous for these phenomena. A desolate stretch of land nestled deep within the Uinta Basin of Utah, known locally as Skinwalker Ranch. This isn't just any ranch. It's a gateway to something far more sinister than anyone could have imagined. The year was 1996 when Robert Bigelow, a wealthy businessman with an interest in paranormal research, purchased this isolated property after hearing countless reports from local farmers who claimed their livestock were being killed in bizarre ways. Animals would be found dead without visible wounds, drained of blood, or even levitated off the ground before dropping lifeless. At first, many dismissed these accounts as mere superstition or exaggeration, but then came the lights. Locals described them as living entities, shifting colors between red, blue, and green, moving erratically across the landscape at impossible speeds. Some swore they saw metallic objects hovering silently above the fields, while others reported shadowy figures lurking near the boundaries of the ranch. What made things worse was the sheer frequency of these events. It wasn't a one-time occurrence, it happened almost nightly. Intrigued yet skeptical, Bigelow assembled a team of investigators equipped with state-of-the-art surveillance technology. Cameras, motion detectors, and audio recorders were installed throughout the property, hoping to capture definitive proof of whoever was responsible for the chaos. For months, nothing substantial appeared on tape, just static-filled nights and restless winds sweeping through the canyon. But patience paid off. One fateful evening in late October, all sensors went haywire simultaneously. Security footage revealed a cluster of luminous orbs descending from the heavens, weaving gracefully around trees and boulders before vanishing abruptly into thin air. Simultaneously, thermal imaging picked up heat signatures resembling humanoid shapes standing motionless at the edge of the woods. When the team ventured out to investigate, they discovered scorch marks etched into the earth, along with peculiar geometric patterns drawn in the dirt using unknown methods. What followed next shook everyone to their core. Over the following weeks, equipment began malfunctioning inexplicably. Radios crackled with unintelligible voices speaking in foreign tongues. Cameras captured distorted images of elongated figures melting into shadows, and even the animals seemed to sense danger, refusing to graze near certain sections of the land. As fear spread among the crew, some began questioning whether they had stumbled upon not just a hot spot for alien activity, but perhaps a portal connecting our world to another dimension. Then came the final twist. During a routine inspection of the data logs, analysts noticed recurring timestamps linked to every major event recorded on the ranch. Each incident occurred precisely at 3:33 AMA time, steeped in folklore as the hour when spirits roam freely and barriers between worlds grow thin. Coincidence? Or evidence of forces beyond human comprehension? To this day, no definitive explanation exists for what happened at Skinwalker Ranch. Was it extraterrestrial visitors testing humanity's limits? A supernatural entity asserting dominance over sacred grounds? Or maybe both? Whatever the truth may be, one thing remains certain. There are places on Earth where reality bends under pressure, exposing cracks we dare not explore. So, what do you believe? Are the lights of Skinwalker Ranch echoes of ancient powers awakening or signals from civilizations light years away? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, sometimes the scariest mysteries aren't those we solve, they're the ones we leave unanswered. In the upcoming chapter, after uncovering the horrifying truth behind the Ugandan village plagued by the monstrous crocodile, and delving into the chilling mystery of the cannibalistic fate of the stranded Arctic explorers, you might think humanity has seen its fair share of terrors. But what if the greatest horrors don't come from beasts or desperate circumstances? What if they originate within our own minds? Nature itself often serves as both predator and protector, but sometimes the most terrifying threats are invisible, hidden deep in the recesses of human psychology. Speaking of which, let me tell you about another eerie phenomenon that left an entire town questioning reality itself: the house that feeds on fear. In a quiet suburban neighborhood nestled between rolling hills and dense forests lies a house unlike any other. To passers-by, it appears normal, a two-story structure with peeling paint and overgrown ivy climbing up its walls. However, those who have lived nearby for generations whisper tales of strange occurrences linked to this unassuming building. Over the years, countless families have moved in, only to leave under mysterious circumstances or not leave at all. The story begins decades ago when the first family took residence. They were a typical household, parents working hard to provide stability, children playing happily in the yard. At first, life seemed perfect, but then came the whispers. Not audible sounds, but thoughts that crept into their minds during moments of solitude. Thoughts like, "You're not good enough," or "They would be better off without you." These voices grew louder over time, planting seeds of doubt and despair. One evening, after months of enduring these intrusive thoughts, one member of the family snapped. A violent argument erupted, ending in tragedy. Neighbors later reported hearing screams, followed by an unsettling silence. When authorities arrived, they found the house empty, with no signs of struggle or departure. It was as though the family had vanished into thin air. Years passed, and new occupants tried their luck, hoping the past was merely coincidence. Yet each family met a similar fate. Some claimed they saw fleeting shadows moving through the corners of their eyes. Others described doors creaking open on their own, or cold spots forming in random areas of the house. Whatever the manifestation, the result was always the same: paranoia spiraling out of control until someone broke. Psychologists eventually became involved, attempting to explain the phenomena through theories of mass hysteria or environmental triggers affecting mental health. However, no concrete evidence could account for the consistent pattern of madness and disappearance tied to the house. Some suggested it might have been built over ancient burial grounds, disturbing spirits long buried beneath the earth. Others proposed electromagnetic anomalies causing neurological disturbances in those exposed. Then came a young couple seeking refuge from the chaos of city life. Eager to start fresh, they purchased the house despite warnings from locals. At first, everything seemed fine. The husband threw himself into renovating the property, while the wife tended to the garden. Their daughter, a curious child of 7, explored every corner of the house, giggling as she played hide-and-seek with imaginary friends. But soon, things began to change. The wife noticed her reflection in mirrors acting independently of her movements. The husband heard footsteps upstairs late at night, even though he was the only one home. And their daughter, well, she started speaking in a voice far older than her years, claiming her friends wanted them to stay forever. One fateful night, the couple decided to confront whatever force haunted their home. Armed with flashlights and determination, they searched room by room, calling out for answers. Instead of finding clarity, they stumbled upon something far more disturbing. In the attic, hidden beneath layers of dust and cobwebs, they discovered journals belonging to previous residents. Each entry detailed escalating feelings of fear, guilt, and worthlessness, culminating in cryptic final lines like, "It knows everything about us." Terrified yet unwilling to flee, the couple stayed one last night, hoping to gather more evidence. As dawn approached, they realized they weren't alone. Shadows danced across walls, whispering secrets they couldn't remember upon waking. Objects moved inexplicably, and the temperature dropped drastically. By morning, neither the couple nor their daughter was ever seen again. To this day, locals avoid mentioning the house aloud, fearing it might hear them. Those brave enough to venture close claim the whispers grow louder with each step, promising freedom while simultaneously warning of doom. Is it truly cursed? Or is it simply a manifestation of humanity's darkest fears given form? Whatever the answer may be, one thing remains certain: stepping foot inside means losing yourself forever. So, what do you believe? Are the whispers real, or are they merely echoes of our subconscious fears brought to life? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, sometimes the scariest monsters aren't lurking in the dark. They're hiding in plain sight, waiting for us to listen.